Hey guys, welcome back to SvenDesigns video. Today I'm going to show you how to get the best OBS settings for low-end PCs. So for computers who are generally slow. So I'll show you the settings that work best. In any case, I'm just going to jump right in. I'm going to go to settings. So when you go to settings, you have the general tab. These are mostly preferences, like for example the language. I like to have it in English, the theme in dark. For the rest you have a couple of other preferences that you can check or uncheck. Nothing really here to note, but you can always just of course copy what I did. In any case, we're just going to go over here to output and we're immediately going to recording because this is the best OBS recording settings. Now if you look on top you can see the output mode. I advise you to be it on advanced, it gives you more options. Then down here as you can see we have type, we're going to do that on standard. And underneath here we have recording path. Now recording path is actually where you're going to save your videos, but this is something you need to browse and you can choose your own recording path and actually select where you want your videos to be saved. Then we go down to another one that's very important, the recording format. Now I always advise you to have this on MP4. MP4 is the most read recording format, so video file. It's read by pretty much every software and it's also the most basic video file out there. And so even in this case, to make it more simple, I always advise you to have it on MP4. Then we have audio tracks. Audio tracks are, it just depends, you have the first audio track which could be like Windows sounds, you know, videos playing, Spotify music. And the second one will probably be your microphone, so that's up to you to get to check the amount of audio tracks that you need. But the next one up here is very important, it's the encoder. So I have a laptop, I don't have a graphics card. So I have the built-in X264. This is very important. You could have a slow computer, so low-end computer that has a graphics card in it, that you for example built yourself as a computer, or a laptop that has a graphics card or pre-built. In any case, if the graphics card isn't running as good anymore, you can always consider putting it at X264. But if you have still the graphics card that's running pretty well in your opinion, you can definitely choose the graphics card as the encoder. But since I don't even have one, I'm just going to do X264 and it works very well for me. So if you select as an encoder your graphics card and it isn't that good, you can always change of course the settings of the graphics card, or you could actually just go for the X64 just to check if it works well in your situation. Then rescale output is also pretty important. It's the 920 by 1080. So that's every video, every thumbnail on YouTube. So I could definitely advise you to use that scale. Now here the rate control. You could change it to something else than CBR, but I like to have it on CBR. My bitrate is a bit much. I'm currently at 50,000 kbps. This is something you can definitely bring down to, like for example, 5,000 or 10,000. You can play around with it, see what works best for you. But I wouldn't put it too high, as I said. For me, I just keep it at 50,000 because I know it works well for me, so I change it. CPU. So as you can see here already, higher is less CPU. Always put this on ultra fast. I always advise you to put this on ultra fast no matter how slow your computer is. Because if you're gonna pace it even lower than ultra fast, it's gonna be even worse. So the best solution that you have, once again, even though if you have a low-end computer, is going to put this at ultra fast. Then profile is something else. Profile, you can bring it down to something like medium if it works for you. But mine as high works pretty well. Now we're just going over to the audio tab above here. As you can see here you have multiple tracks that you would potentially use. And I just put them all at 320 as audio bitrate. You don't have to change that, it's pretty basic but a very good quality audio. Alright, now actually going into the actual audio tab. Here above in general you can see the sample rates. I definitely advise you 48 kHz. Then the channel on stereo, also something that I could advise. Then something more personal, you can have the desktop audio, so like speakers, for example in my case, like a headset. So I actually have a voice meter. Voice meter is a software that makes my voice better. I actually have a tutorial on that on my channel if you want to check that out, to make your microphone voice and sound better in general. But in any case, I just could, because I actually have a Blue Yeti, so I could set that to Blue Yeti, but it wouldn't have the settings. So that's why I choose the software, voice meter, as my microphone, so that I have the settings that currently make my voice better. Any case, same for the others here. Down here there's nothing really too much to add, it's preferences mostly. You can once again copy it if you need to. Going into the actual video tab here. So as you can see here, we same have resolution, so the base and the output resolution. Now this is 920 by 1080 as I said, but what I wanted to say earlier, you can put this down to like 1280 by 720, which is the more a little bit lower auto resolution. But you can still put it at that, so 1280 by 720, because that would also work. So that's something that could work for you if 920 by 1080 think is too much, the 16 by 9 ratio. If you think that's too much, you can definitely bring that down. The downscale filter, you could also change that, but for me, length, sharpening, scaling 36 samples works very well. And then the FPS, you can put it at 60, but you can also put it down at 30 if that helps. Alright, so let's just go down here to the last advanced tab. Above here, process priority, you can do high, you can do a little bit underneath, but I think high is more than enough for every computer. Renderer, I do advise to be on direct 3D11. The color format NV12 and then color space 7.9 and color range full. I always advise it to be on full because if you do it on half, for example, that's going to be like a more dark screen, looks amateur. So make sure that this is actually always on full, no matter the computer that you have. And 7.9 for the color space. And for the rest, of course, just preferences once again. Alright, in any case, we're back here. So as you can see, those are settings that are generally where we work. Of course, it might be different in your situation, your computer will be different. So you have to adapt, you have to kind of try, test for yourself what will be better. But I already gave you a general idea, the basic settings for low-end PCs. Because mine is definitely on the low end at the moment. So for me, these settings work. And of course, if you have any questions in the comment section down below, be sure to ask them. And please leave a like, it would be really nice. Subscribe to also be really nice. And I hope to see you guys in my next video, of course. Bye bye.